Hey guys, Harry from Carly Sit Ground Bath here. I've been wanting to make this video for quite a long time, but for various reasons I haven't done so. I mean, over the last couple of weeks I've actually been feeling fairly down, and it's made me demotivated for making videos and all sorts of things. But then a couple of things happened, and it's led to me recording this today. One was that I was thinking about, well, the downs make the ups feel worthwhile. Because if you never felt down and only ever felt kind of happy and up all the time, eventually it would become flat. You become accustomed to it, and there wouldn't be the contrast there. You wouldn't be able to really appreciate when you do feel good. So that's one thing. I think so. Feeling up and down, kind of downs are part of life, and they help highlight the ups. And as long as you're not down all the time, I think that's probably okay. And the second thing was that yesterday I was in a collision with another car. I was parked and somebody drove into me, and that just made me think that maybe now is the only time we ever really have. So anyway, it's led to us recording today. And I want to answer a question which has been asked to me a couple of different times in a couple of different ways by different people. And the essence of the question is I don't think I'm good enough, or am I good enough to join the class? Or the other way of being asked is, I feel guilty as a beginner, I feel guilty for working with someone who's more advanced because I'm holding them back. Now there's a couple of things I want to look at in relation to this. There's some to do with some practical kind of logical takeaways, and some to do with seeing it from the other person's perspective, and then some of it seeing from your own mindset, really. So the practical takeaways are, as a beginner, hang on a second, everyone in their entire time of doing any activity will have been a beginner at it at some point. And if they've got any sense of empathy for other human beings, if they see someone starting out struggling with, which is their left hand, which is their right hand, whether they should have 1 foot forwards, how far away they should be, if they're holding the stick in the wrong hand, or whatever it is, you must have some empathy and remember back to the time when they were a beginner. Feel some empathy for you as a beginner and help you out, want to help you out. And as a beginner, that's actually a good thing, because when you start off with no or very little skill, it's actually going to be your time of the most rapid improvement. So it's your rate of improvement is going to be the absolute highest in the beginning part of your martial arts training or your skill training, whatever else you're doing. Next thing I want to look at is, let's look at it from the other person's perspective. You training with them is an opportunity for them to get repetition of the fundamental elements of the system, and nobody is so advanced that they don't need to practice fundamentals. You'll very, very rarely hear me say always or never, and I think this is probably one of those occasions where everybody, no matter how advanced they are, will always need to practice fundamentals. Because if your foundations crumble, then your whole building will fall. So they get to practice the fundamentals by working with you as a beginner, because you're working on beginning level information, drills, techniques, and so on. The next thing that will help them is, if you don't quite get it straight away, then your training partner will have to think of a way of explaining it to you, or showing you, or helping you to understand it, that they might not have had to think about before. So helping you gives them a deeper understanding of what it is that you guys are doing. Because it's one stage as a practitioner being able to do the technique or drill, and it's a whole nother level of being able to explain it well enough to other people who might not think in the same way as you do, or might not learn in the same way. Somebody might be more kind of visual or auditory or tactile, or reading comprehension might be high up on their method of learning. Their imagination might be sparked more by reading the words of somebody writing it down. And so having to explain and teach someone else, because that's essentially what you're doing as a training partner, helping out your training partner with something they don't get, is you're being the teacher right now, you're being the coach. Having to coach them and see them improve deepens your own understanding of what you're trying to do. So that helps the more advanced practitioner when they're working with a beginner. And also, there's something really important about a sense of getting both a sense of personal development and a sense of contribution, of giving back to your community. Now, your community is however you want to define it. It might be your martial arts club, or your class, or your village, or your streets, or your family, or whatever it is. But that sense of your own personal development and a sense of giving back and helping others really helps enrich your entire experience of being alive. And so the personal development for the advanced practitioner comes from the extra explanation they might need to give the beginning practitioner as to how to understand it. The sense of giving back is actually the act of helping someone else get better, as a selfless act on the surface. I mean, I don't know, there's a whole debate about whether altruism really exists or not. I don't want to get into that right now. So then for the beginning practitioner, there's a sense of personal development because you get better at something and someone's helping you. There might not be such of a sense of giving to the community, because it might feel like on the surface you're just kind of taking training time away from that advanced practitioner. But really, remember what I said about it helps them to have to explain it to you in a different way to what they're normally used to explaining it or doing it or thinking about when they do it themselves. So really both sides of that equation get there. And plus, if you're a beginner and you work with a more advanced practitioner, you're going to improve more rapidly, and then in the future you'll be able to help new beginners when they come in. And you can even say to them, oh yeah, about 3 months ago I was really struggling with this technique, and I worked out if I just put my hand there, or if I just step here a little earlier, or if I think about being slightly closer, it really helps me understand that. And that other person, that new beginner, might go, oh yeah, wow, that really makes a big difference, thank you so much. So there comes your sense of giving back and your sense of helping others. And that's something I really want to foster in my martial arts club, for sure. And I hope you do. I suppose the last area I want to look at is, you can probably find, as an individual, you can probably find any metric about yourself and judge yourself as being the worst against any other group of people. And so you could probably find a group of people in which you're the youngest, and so the least experienced and the most kind of green and naive or whatever. You can also probably find a group of people in which you're the oldest. You're the most long in the tooth, you're the most stuck in the mud, you're kind of old and uncool or whatever. There's going to be a group of people where you're the least fit. And so they're going to set off and do some activity, I don't know, run around the park or something. You'll never be able to keep up without slowing them down. There's also going to be a group of people where you're the fittest. And so, I don't know, maybe you feel guilt about running too fast for them because they can't keep up, and you running fast makes them feel bad. There's going to be another group where you're the fattest, or you're the thinnest, or you're the most intelligent, or you're the tallest, or the shortest, or whatever it is, whatever metric it is. You can if you're looking for it, you can probably find some area or some group in which you're the most. And that's fine. What is within your control is how you place value on that, how your attitude towards that is. And so if you find yourself measuring yourself against others on whatever metric you pick, because if you think about it, you can pick a metric and find yourself to be the most something in any group. So if you can find any group, there must be some kind of metric that you're the most within. I think, anyway. So if you find yourself feeling like, oh, I'm the youngest in the class, I'm the least experienced, everyone else is older, everyone kind of looks down on me, this is terrible, or I'm the least fit in the group, I can't keep up, I'm the one who's always out of breath, oh, this is awful, or I'm the tallest in the group, I'm the least coordinated, I'm all gangly, I'm always poking people in the eye when I shouldn't be, and reaching them when they don't expect it, and or whatever it is. I want you to see and notice if you're feeling the negative approach to that particular measure, and just see if you can choose in your mind to flip the coin, because there's always that other side of the coin, and whichever side it lands, you can choose to turn it over. It's not a done deal as to what happens inside your own head, I believe, anyway. So if you find yourself thinking that, oh, I'm the youngest, then good, because you have the most time ahead of you to improve. You have the most potential. You have the greatest number of options ahead of you. You're probably then the most, well, maybe not the most resilient, but your physiology of your body is still kind of growing and good at healing and repairing, and if you ever do get injured, you probably heal really quickly, and your mind is the most elastic, most plastic, which means it can be reformed and stay in that new form, so you can give yourself new ideas. You're probably at about the fastest rate of learning comprehension you'll be if you're younger. It takes, as we get older, speaking as an older chap now, it takes us longer to learn new skills. Our minds are less plastic. It's that fact. Still have to try though, right? So let's say you're the oldest in the group. So you injure really easily. You're carrying a lot of old injuries, of old baggage. You're not very flexible, so on. Sure, you can really focus on all of the negative elements of it if you want to. But you can also focus on all the positives. You're probably the most experienced in all of life. You're probably the most sensible and level-headed. You've probably got the best, well-developed nonsense filter. You're not really going to fall for anything that's bullshit, to be honest. So that's awesome. Let's look at one other, I think. Okay, so you're the fattest and the least fit in the group. So show up, you have to have a triple XL t-shirt. You think everyone's looking at you, you sweat a lot, and you're out of breath all the time. Now I can see that there are a few negative ways of looking at that if that's about you. But what positives can you find? Okay, I'm the fattest. Good. I've got the most fat to lose and the best improvement ahead of me. Okay, I'm the least fit. Well, great. I'm going to have the most rapid improvement in fitness that I'll ever have. Okay, I sweat a lot. Good. That's my body helping me regulate my temperature. So I suppose what I really want to say is, don't ignore your own downsides, but likewise don't let them control you and define you. If you find yourself in this cycle of negative thoughts, see what you can do to flip the switch, to completely reverse your perspective. So I was feeling down about a number of things. I got quite a lot of stuff on my plate at work, at home, at the club, doing lots of things, and feeling like I was failing, not making enough videos and all sorts of stuff. The switch that I flipped was, I get to do these things. I don't have to do these things, but I get to do them. Not everybody gets to do them. What can I offer to other people? It comes to that sense of giving back. Rather than just looking out for number one all the time, which to be honest, I was focused on. I was looking on that kind of personal development and just trying to protect myself, which is an easy, insular way of thinking that's easy to fall into. I was just looking to protect myself, but actually what I was missing was helping other people. And it's a hard hit on the ego when you find that out. You go, okay, I have been a little bit too selfish right now. So anyway, here we are. I hope that answers the question. And brutally, are you good enough for the class? Yes, of course. You're worthy of another chance. You're worthy of happiness and love and appreciation, because no matter how good or bad you are at doing any one particular skill, you will always have something to offer, always have something to do if you have the right mindset, if you have the right kind of focus and positivity in your approach. And that makes me really happy. Okay, that's it for now.